morning and welcome to morning meditation. We're still in Proverbs 22. Rob not the poor because he is poor, neither oppress the afflicted in the gate. For the Lord will plead their cause and spoil the soul of them that spoiled them. Make no friendship with an angry man, with a furious man shalt thou not go, lest thou learn his ways and get a snare unto thy soul. Be not one of them that strike hands, or of them that are surety for debts. If thou hast nothing to pay, why should they take away thy bed from under thee? Remove not the ancient landmarks which thy fathers have set. Seest thou a man diligent in his business? He shall stand before kings, he shall not stand before mean men. Proverbs 22 is just full of great wisdom. These last couple of verses talk about how we handle our business, deal with our business, and execute our business. So many Christians think, well, business is one thing and church is another. No, all of it's tied together and all of it has to do with our testimony. It says, don't make a friendship with an angry person, lest you learn their ways and you become an angry person. There's nothing worse than a Christian who has a terrible temper. And I use that as illustration all the time because many Christians do struggle with anger. And they struggle with anger for different reasons. The Bible doesn't say why you struggle with anger. It says don't hang around an angry person lest you learn his ways and get a snare to your soul. I've heard people say, well, my grandfather had a quick temper. My dad had, so I've got a quick temper. No, you need to get right with God. That's the bottom line. Great peace have they which love thy law, and nothing shall offend them. Now, I'm not saying we're not human. We all deal with times when people get under our skin, but that should be very short, and we should address that with biblical principles that help us to deal with anger issues. Then it goes on to say, hey, don't be a person that is surety for other people. In other words, don't go into debt. Don't co-sign loans. They won't take away what you have if you don't. And by the way, I think this is one of the places that Satan really gets a hold of Christians. Using credit card debt, going out there and running up debt, paying interest. Oh, I can't afford to tithe because I've got all these credit cards to pay off. Exactly. Boy, the Lord should get our first fruits, our first efforts, the first and the best, not the last and the least. And Satan is really good at that. Last of all, it says there, remove not the old landmarks. When I look at churches today, copying the world, trying to sound like the world, look like the world, I'll be hitting this principle in a sermon here soon. But isn't it interesting that since the 1960s, we've heard this word commitment. Make a commitment to God. Make a commitment to give up your sin. Make a commitment to this. You know what's wrong with that? There's something wrong with that because commitment still gives you the power in what you're doing. The word commitment replaced is surrender. When you get saved, you surrender everything to God. He has total control. You have no control. When you're still in control, you're out of control. And boy, this idea of switching commitment for the word surrender has totally devastated the landscape of Christianity. You listen to all these famous evangelists and they're saying, make a commitment to God. Like you and I have something to offer God. I've got news for you. God doesn't need anything you and I have. He is a gracious, wonderful God that's given us the gift of salvation. But here's the thing. We can't do it according to our own works and our own will. We have to surrender. Remove not the old landmarks. And that's just one word, one area where Christianity's been changed. Boy, let's get back to the old landmarks. Get back to the old ways. Let's take some wisdom from these last few verses in Proverbs 22 and make sure we don't go with angry person, we don't have debt, and we don't remove God's eternal word. God bless you and have a wonderful